Good morning and welcome to a new strand of thought, being creative. I wonder what image comes to your mind when you think of the word creative. Perhaps an image of an art studio and a blank canvas for your imagination. Perhaps a shed full of tools and materials for you to invent something. Perhaps a pen and paper to give wing to your imagination. Or perhaps it just invokes raw terror. Help! I need to be creative! How on earth do you do that? I have to say that as someone who has to think of something new to say almost every day on just about any subject, you might expect me to find creativity easy. But strangely, when it came to talking about being creative, I could think of nothing to say. Complete writer's block. Oh, the irony. I have to admit, for me, the word creativity invokes mixed feelings. On the one hand, I love being creative with ideas, throwing thoughts around, joining ideas together and just seeing what comes out. But on the other hand, I dread having to be creative to a deadline, which I do almost every day of my life. So it got me thinking, how is creativity done? How can you be creative? Well, the basic thought I want to share with you today is that I think everyone is creative and that creativity is essential to our happiness. Human beings are inherently creative beings. And whether you believe that we were made in the image of a creative God or just evolved to this stage of our development, or like me, happen to believe both of those things, we only become the human beings that we are by refining our creativity over successive generations to a point where we are all incredibly creative. Necessity, they say, is the mother of invention, and from the dawn of time, the human need for survival has given birth to human brains that teem with invention. There is no such thing as an uncreative human being. If you think you're uncreative, it's just because you haven't discovered your medium. I can't do art, I can't improvise musical harmonies, I can't invent recipes. But I have found my creative medium in words, playing with ideas and expressing thoughts in new ways. And you will have your medium too, simply because you're human. So how can you be creative? Well, I can only give you a few hints from my own experience. Firstly, in my experience, creativity is like going to the loo. It can't be forced. It just comes out when you're relaxed. So if it's not coming to you, don't worry about it. Stop thinking about it. Go and do something else for a while. I generally find, I have to say, that doing something physical is better. Doing something that requires thought doesn't give your creative brain the rest it needs. But almost any physical work will do. Dig the garden, do the dishes, take the dog for a walk, and it's amazing how often ideas will just pop into your head. And that's not an accident either. Our highly developed brains are hardwired to create stimulation for themselves. If you stop stimulating your brain, it will start stimulating itself. So just relax. Make yourself bored if you can, and trust your brain to do what brains do. Secondly, creativity is like going to the loo in that it happens naturally when your diet is right. Now, in this case, the diet is life itself. Take an interest in everything and anything. The more interest you can take in life and everything life has to offer, the more you delve down into it, wanting to know more, wanting to understand better, wanting to see more clearly, the more your highly developed brain will start whizzing around, making fascinating connections and stimulating itself. And then, not only will you find your particular medium, or mediums, but the creativity will start pouring out of you. Thirdly, and in this respect creativity is not like going to the loo, it's best done with other people. I find that my creativity is stimulated by collaborating with others, bouncing off their ideas and seeing how they run with my ideas, and building something together. The creative space, in my experience, is something that occurs in the gaps between different people's talents, knowledge, experience and passions. Get together with a group of people and if you can simply get them working together, the creativity just begins to happen. All you need to do is to make sure they work together and not against each other. Now, I'm aware that different people may react differently to that. There is some suggestion that character types comes into play here. So introverts perhaps need to be alone to be creative, while extroverts interact with others and can only be creative when they're talking. But even introverts, on their own, still collaborate with others, whether it's great artists of the past, or the people that have taught them, or the people they love. they still need to be working with other people. They may need to be on their own to process their ideas, but they're still collaborating with people who just happen not to be in the room. And the creativity, I think, still happens in the creative space between them and their collaborators. So, if like me you need to be creative, but you're suffering from creative constipation, maybe my little hints can help. Stop thinking and relax. Stimulate your interest in life in all its fullness, and get together with others and make some creative space. Sometimes it just takes one conversation with one other person and it all just unlocks. But however we do it, I do think we need to be creative. We need to make our distinctive contribution to the world, using our unique combination of talents, our unique set of experiences and interests, and our unique personality. The more fully we can use the whole of ourselves creatively, the more fulfilled we will be, and the better off the world will be for having had us in it.